How's everyone feeling? Does everyone need a drink or a cigarette? Good evening. My class, quiet down, please. My name is Jenelle Riley, and welcome to this Q&A with Good Time. At this point, I am so pleased to welcome tonight's guest, because this is a career that really excites me. Since breaking through in films like Harry Potter and Twilight, this is an actor who has continued to make very daring, bold choices in films like The Rover, Maps to the Stars, Lost City of Z, and the film you just saw, Good Time. Please welcome Robert Pattinson. Hi.
Thank you. Luke, thanks.
Oh, good. You're no longer blonde, first of all. I don't know if that was a permanent dye job, but...
It was permanent.
Oh, you're kidding. How long ago did you walk around like that?
When was that? Last spring, I think. I did it 3 times. Well, I had to dye it we did reshoot, so it was kind of...
Your poor hair.
It all fell out afterwards.
You're kidding.
Yeah, so I had to shave my head.
You're kidding. Oh, my gosh. Was life more fun as a blonde?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's very. You felt incredibly dirty and disgusting. That's how all blondes feel.
Yeah. No offense, blondes. Thank you so much for being here, and congratulations on another great movie. This is an audience of SAG-AFTRA, so I always like to start by asking, how did you get your SAG card? Yeah, we just discussed.
Oh, no,
you do have one.
From Harry Potter.
It was Harry Potter,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Even though it was shot in England? Yeah. Are you sure you have your SAG card?
Yeah.
Do you get screeners?
Do you get screeners if you're in SAG?
Yes, of course.
Wait,
Why do you think
what?
people pay their dues?
What?
Yes, you should
Every
get
single
SAG.
person in SAG gets screeners.
Yep. Isn't that right? Yeah.
Never been sent a screener in my life.
You're kidding. They're holding out on you.
Maybe I'm not in SAG.
I'm also curious because I so admire your choices, and I can never predict what movie you're going to sign on to next. Is there a specific movie or filmmaker that inspired you when you were young to be an actor?
I mean, I think I'd already got a couple of jobs, sort of by accident, and then I saw One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Clockwork Orange when I was on a job, and just suddenly had this real feeling, especially One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, just walking out of my my hotel room and just being like, oh, this has made me want to be somebody else in reality afterwards, and kind of I just wanted to dress up as McMurphy and
No way.
Yeah. And I would feel like a different person. It kind of gave me, pretending to be somebody else in reality gave me more confidence as my true self.
Well, I don't want to brag, but One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was shot in my hometown of Salem, Oregon, which is, to this day, the biggest thing that's ever happened there. So it has a personal soft spot for me, but that is a great movie. I mean, were you familiar with the work of like Milos Forman and Jack Nicholson before then?
I mean, no, not really. I mean, but I was obsessed after that, with Milos Forman especially. And then, yeah, I mean, just kind of, and just Nicholson became just, I think the next day got 5 Easy Pieces, and it was just kind of on from there, really.
Because I've noticed you have a tendency to gravitate towards auteurs, like David Cronenberg or James Gray, and I'm curious if what draws you to a film is more the people working on it, or the script, or in the case of Good Time, I mean, you kind of had both.
I mean, I signed up to this with there was no script at all.
You're kidding.
Yeah, it wasn't. They were making something else, and I met them. We had a really good meeting, and yeah, he was just like, Josh was saying, oh, I think I've had an idea, and like I'll send you this thing in like 6 weeks, but they weren't going to make this, and yeah, I mean, it was kind of a very organic process as well, just kind of over 9 months, just sending little bits of character backstory and. Just mugshots of people who could potentially look like Connie, and yeah. What was the first part of the question? Sorry.
Well, actually, I was curious. Were you familiar with this? Is Josh and Benny Safdie?
Yeah.
And I've only seen. I believe this is only their 3rd feature film. I've seen Daddy Longlegs.
They made and Pleasure of Being Robbed and Heaven Knows What.
Heaven Knows What.
And they also made this amazing documentary about Lenny Cook, the basketball player.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So this is their fourth feature.
I feel like it may be a fifth, but
Really?
I can't remember.
So were you familiar with their work?
No, not at all.
Really?
I signed up this is one of the weirder. I mean, I make quite impulsive decisions a lot of the time, but this was one of the more impulsive. I saw a promotional still on the banner of IndieWire, and I just loved the still so much. And then looked in the little blurb, and it just said they were American. And it's just normally when you saw the first still that came up from Heaven Knows What was just so beautiful, and you could kind of tell. Not only with the photo was really engaging, but it was kind of, if somebody was choosing to use that as a promotional still, then I liked their sensibilities and how they were trying to promote the movie. And then to see that they're American and not Hungarian, or like kind of, which is how, if you'd say, it would make more sense if you'd seen this still, but it looked like a kind of very kind of Cannes-oriented movie, and to see they're American, I was like, I'm in. And I basically committed to this. I committed to it without having seen anything they've made, and there was no script, and it was literally just on the strength of meeting them. And I was like, I just know I found some people who the wider world hasn't really recognized their full potential yet. And then to see Scorsese and Scott Rudin producing their next movie, I was like, first.
You should have typed that on the internet. It's great when people do that. So did you request a meeting with them, essentially?
Yeah.
Wow. Because if people aren't familiar with their work, their movies usually cost $5.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and star unknowns. So I'm sure
yeah.
they're thrilled to get this call.
I don't think they were. I heard. There was almost didn't respond to it because they were making this. They're making the movie which they're doing now, which is about like Jewish diamond dealers in the diamond district, and he's like, and they're still saying like adamant that I can't play Jewish, which I was very upset about. Like, it's like, why do you think I can play Greek? Then I don't know Greek at all. But yeah, so they were doing that, and they couldn't see anything in it for me, and so Josh told me the other day he wasn't going to respond to the email.
Wow.
But it was such a kind of weird, obsessed. I'd committed to doing a movie with them.
Before ever meeting them?
Yeah, 100%.
You just wrote them and said, we're going to do a
I
movie?
love this photograph so much, and it was kind of similar to the character, like sort of, our purposes are aligned and blah, blah.
I mean, I've written filmmakers emails like that and they don't respond, but I assume it's different coming
I do
from
this a
you.
lot. I mean, it's like, I've got about a 2% hit rate.
So you have David Cronenberg's email address, I presume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was the other way around. But pretty much every other job I get, I relentlessly pursue it.
That's so interesting. Same with James Gray?
Yeah.
Because he's a director I know lots of actors want to work with.
Yeah. I mean, that took 7 years of wanting to work with him. Like, I mean, I wanted to work with him. As soon as I did Twilight, that was immediately afterwards the first person I wanted to work with was James Gray. I was obsessed with him. I think he gets best performances, and I just love all his movies. But it took from I did it when I was 21, and just kept kind of pursuing and bullying him and harassing him.
And 10 years later,
Yeah.
you have a movie together.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Something that I think is really interesting about this movie, for those of you who don't know, is the actor who plays your brother is also one of the film's directors, Benny Safdie.
Benny, yeah.
And I don't think he's really acted before.
Just in their shorts and stuff, yeah. I think, yeah.
When did they spring that idea on you?
I mean, well, initially it was going to be Buddy Duress, who's also in the movie. He was initially going to play my brother. I mean, this was a totally different movie when I signed up to it. It was about
It was a rom-com.
Yeah, it was about me getting out of prison, and my brother was in an acting class, and they knew a prosthetic makeup artist who then helped us rob banks as like in different disguises and stuff. It's completely different, but I loved Buddy. I think Buddy is just naturally gifted actor, and I was fine to work with him. But we auditioned tons of people, and then Benny can just turn on this character and just improvise for days. And we did like 5 days improvising just all around Yonkers in New York, just in character. We got jobs in a car wash and stuff.
You're kidding. You were washing cars with...
Well, I was more like kind of telling Benny. We were trying to do it in character.
You were supervising.
I was telling. We both got jobs, and then I was telling him to do it, and then Benny was kind of like in real life, like just snapping off people's windscreen wipers and stuff. I mean, it was really crazy.
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah.
Did you go in and apply for these jobs, or was it something that was like set up?
It was vaguely set up, but people, all the other people working there had no idea. And then
really,
and we were going into Dunkin' Donuts and kind of causing like massive commotions and seeing how people would react to it and stuff. It was interesting to seeing how people just didn't really, just people in the real world didn't really judge you. They didn't think anything was amiss, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. You can just lie to people's faces.
But was there anybody who like went to tip you and then went, wait a second?
Yeah, I mean, it was that was kind of part of the kind of character kind of work. I mean, I really wanted to be. I loved their last movie, Heaven Knows What, and it was the main thing was. Which I liked about it was the performances. The world of the movie was so seamless with like the real world around them, and I really wanted to do that and do a true ensemble thing with reality. And a lot of the performance, I was just trying to figure out how to not be recognized by other actors in the movie who were first-time actors, and I just felt that their performances would be different, and it would just feel weird if they were like thinking that I'm playing a part or coming from a different world or anything. But and just to integrate into real world scenarios, I was doing a lot of different things, like changing your body language. And if someone looked at you weird, if you're very aggressive towards someone who thinks that they're just about to recognize you, people do not continue. They don't pursue it.
Way. Yeah, I've noticed. I was going to ask about the physicality, actually, because you do look different. You carry yourself different. And I think part of it could even be the costumes, these bulky jackets that he hides himself in.
Yeah.
So I assume that was all intentional.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's kind of, it's just kind of intuitive as well. I mean, I know that also normally if you're trying on costumes and stuff, I really notice normally you put something on, if it doesn't feel right immediately, you're like, no, it's not right, I've got to try on something else. But with this, I would see people walking around the street and I'd be taking photos of them or videos of them, and just get the exact outfit that someone who I thought Connie would be like, and then put it on, and it would inevitably feel fake, and then you would just force yourself, like kind of reverse engineer it, and just force yourself to feel real. They take as much time as it takes, and just only wear that constantly. Like we were doing a lot of stuff, visiting. We would get these kind of. One of the directors knew the commissioner of prisons in Manhattan, in all the 5 boroughs, and we would go to prisons and just kind of wearing these outfits to kind of it's the ultimate test when you go into a dorm, or I don't even know what you call it, like a ward, or like something in Britain, like where everybody is, like everyone's so bored, and then everybody turns around and like they're trying to figure out what you're about, and it was like, and to kind of get through that by little things of makeup, and we're essentially going into prisons to do makeup tests.
Interesting.
And
And you decided on the goatee and the...
Yeah, I had sort of the main thing we tried it with. We did this thing with the fake nose and stuff, and basically, I'm just trying to look like Benny, but like nothing really worked apart from really subtle things. But then I was really obsessed with Executioner's Song, the Norman Mailer book about Gary Gilmore.
Oh.
And I think Gary Gilmore was kind of fascinating, and I was watching the TV movie about it, and I was
with Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, and he's just like unreal in it, and I just kind of got obsessed with it. I just wanted Tommy Lee Jones like
pockmarks
and stuff. So I put like little pockmarks on, and it really changed. Like people almost immediately putting the pockmarks on, people just no longer recognized you.
So how long would you have to spend in makeup every day?
Like 5 minutes. It was literally just it was like some super, it was just little bits of super glue. It was just completely ruined my skin afterwards.
Because I know that this is obviously an indie movie, and the Safdie brothers tend to work on very short schedules. How much time did you have, and did you shoot it all in sequence?
Not really in sequence. It was, I think it was about 37 days, but it was, was that right? Yeah, 30. Yeah, but it was hard. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it was 37, including 5 days, which was additional at the end.
And at nights too, a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really know the difference between day and night. I mean, it's literally just oh, the light's finished. Well, let's just do a night scene now. And, it's like the thing, like doing the second meal thing.
Yes.
At the end, like second meal was every single day of the entire shoot, it was like an average of like 17, 18-hour days.
And how much improvising was there? I mean, did you guys have a pretty set script by the time you filmed, or because it has like this very loose feel, but sometimes they plan things meticulously to feel loose.
Yeah, I mean, well. There was. It's funny because they have just a totally different idea about what their idea of their own dialogue. I think they write dialogue so well, but they think they're just writing scratch dialogue, and so they'll just be like, yeah, just make it your own. I was like, no, I love the cadence of it. I really, really like it. But I mean, a lot of the other people. I mean, pretty much everyone outside of Benny. Most of the scenes, no one had seen the script, and so apart from me, and a lot of it was being rewritten all the time. And but it's interesting because it was kind of Josh and Benny would sort of explain the scene to whoever else was in the scene, kind of, I mean, literally 5 minutes before we were about to say action. And then kind of explain the scenario to them, but I knew like specific lines and also the structure of the scene, and so they'd say action, and then I'd try and force the scene to happen. So it's kind of one person's sort of improvising, and the other person's just sort of trying to anchor it and then trying to mold the lines to force the correct reaction. But inevitably and invariably, like I would say the first line, and then they would say the opposite of what they're supposed to say. So you're like, oh my goodness, just like, it's kind of what gives the energy of just being like, everything's just so exasperating, like every single scene.
Which probably helps to feed your character who's constantly exasperated.
No, it was fun. It was perfect. Yeah.
What was the scene that kind of went off the rails went off the rails in terms of, wouldn't go in the direction you were trying to steer it?
I mean, for sure, the scene with Buddy at the end, which was just like absolutely insane. Like because we started on him, and I was just riling him up for like ages and ages and ages. A lot of that is kind of, I think we ended up getting pretty much every single line from stuff that was written, but it was going really round the houses. We got to the point where Buddy was just. There was the one time we got confused about like who we were as characters and real people, and I remember when I kept insulting him, saying like, you're nothing, you're just a mooch of the welfare state and blah blah blah, and he's like, oh yeah, well you're just what did he say? He was like you don't even know who you are as a man, and like you're just confused. And I was literally just like, okay, that's too real. That's literally like, it was kind of crazy, but we were kind of, but yeah, and their direction on that as well was just completely insane. I mean, it was literally just like more, and to the point where we were just. I had this one. There was a part of the scene just cut out when I'm trying to make him make a phone call, and literally it was like. Shoving the cell phone in Buddy's mouth and holding his mouth closed like as hard as I could, and just slapping him in the face. And it was it was definitely it's what people really complain about other actors doing.
And you did it all.
I was just beating someone for real.
You heard it here first. You were abusing the other actors.
But also, I mean, Buddy was fully beating me up back, so it's fine.
So what, you might have just answered this actually, but what did end up being the hardest part about making the movie? Because it looks like it's shot guerrilla style, but you probably did have all the proper permits and everything. Again, SAG, so.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of, yeah. I mean, it was funny because I was never entirely sure which permits they had, because sometimes they would pretend that we didn't have permits, and tell everyone we didn't have permits, and then shoot it as if we're stealing something, but we're not actually stealing it.
Yeah.
And so, which is kind of interesting. I mean, you kind of, and then there'd be like a detail cop on the set, and the cop's just looking like, you have permits. Like, why are you trying to sneak past me? But it does something. It does something interesting. But we definitely stole a lot. We stole in a working ER with a Steadicam.
You're kidding.
And had an extra dressed up as a doctor, just to walk through the whole film crew.
Do they know yet, or you just are hoping they won't find out?
Yeah.
No one
you
tell.
don't see anyone's faces, and it's.
Well, I was actually wondering about the theme park, because is that a real place? It must be.
Yeah, it's Adventureland.
Oh, that's Adventureland. You're kidding. I'm sorry, I'm West Coast. I don't know these things.
But that was tough. That was one of it was just shooting in a. I don't know if you even really noticed the adaptation of the Adventureland Ghost Train, which is just. They've just stuck penises on everything. That's the art direction.
No, see, I gotta see this movie again. I miss the penises. No, I did notice that there was like a lot of creepy detail that I was like trying to figure out what kind of theme park is this.
That's when we shot that towards the end, and when I left, I had to get on a flight really early in the morning and I had my backpack to go to the airport, and the art department had just filled it with these like with suction dildos, which are like just covered in green slime, and there's like 40 of them in my backpack, and I was literally like going through a JFK just with a sack of dicks.
And you didn't know it? By the way, only the British can say sack of dicks and make it sound like so elegant. Did you know before you got there?
No, I literally found it in the X-ray. That's actually true as well.
How did this not make TMZ? I'm fascinated.
Yeah. I mean, it was terrifying. Well, I didn't even they didn't even say anything, which is the craziest thing. No one said anything.
I guess it's not illegal. Yeah. That's amazing.
It'd be easier than just kind of trying to dump them out.
I mentioned this the other night, but I'm so curious. Another thing about your character, your American accent is flawless. And I don't know, you've done an American accent before, so I know this isn't the first time, but how did you perfect that? Did you work with a dialect coach?
I didn't on this, but it's written with the. I mean, the writers are from Josh and Benny from Queens, and Ronald Bronstein is maybe from. I think he might be from Long Island. But if something's written in that accent, even though it's like it's just American or whatever, it's written in the accent, and you can feel it instinctively. And also, I was there for a long time, like to kind of, and I was in the production office was in Queens, and I was living sort of in isolation a lot, so I had it constantly in my head the whole time.
I think you were saying too that you grew up with American TV, so like you guys are so much better at doing our accent than vice versa.
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely different now, but I mean, I think also the difference with England and America, like in England, you're quite defined by your accent, and when I was growing up, like. You can really, like, if you have a posh accent or whatever, then you're a posh person. Like, it doesn't really, that's how you define it. And there's not really an equivalent in America with that. And so a lot of people can, go up or down in their class. And like, I mean, and when I was growing up in my school, like everyone was doing like these sort of fake, like Mockney accents. And like everyone would be doing that. And you realize you have a totally different life if you do this different accent. And I kind of got fixated on that. Obviously, I was one of the people doing a Mockney accent.
Is that like Guy Ritchie Snatch, exactly. Sort of? Yeah. That needs subtitles half the time.
And I mean, I've always kind of. I mean, also I used to sing a lot as well, which is and I think I think that's a major part of like being into accents and stuff.
You were a singer?
I mean, kind of.
Well, let's get you in a musical. I was talking earlier about all the great directors you've worked with, David Cronenberg. I did mention Werner Herzog. What is it you hope for from a director when you show up to set?
I think just taste, good taste. I mean, I think that's basically it. I think it's like, and yeah, I mean, you know, if someone has good taste, then you hope that they're just not going to hand in something that's not good. I mean, and good taste comes in just such a wide variety of forms. And you hope that you find someone with good taste and you find that a good time in their life.
A good time.
Yeah.
Look at how you worked in the movie title. Before I go to audience questions, I actually did want to ask, Connie is such a complicated character because on one hand, he does some very despicable things, and some people might just sort of brush him off as a sociopath. But then he has this intense redeeming love for his brother. And I was curious, like, what your take was on him, like what was sort of your way into seeing any redeeming qualities he might have?
He's kind of funny.
Yes, he is. I'll give him that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not really that concerned with trying to find like specifically like and identifiably redeeming qualities in a character at all. It's if something just feels right, then like it's really up to other people. I mean, that's been one of the most fun things with this. Is like, I mean, so many people are coming out saying like he doesn't love his brother at all. He's just a narcissistic psychopath. Like, and like a ton of people are saying like, oh, he's doing everything for his brother, and it's like it's just kind of incredible how like, that's the I don't think I've ever done anything which has got like that level of divisiveness and reaction, but I mean, I think he definitely does really, really love his brother, but he definitely has a kind of a skewed understanding of what love is. He loves in his own way, in the same way with every single character in the movie. He only has one-way relationships. It's either he's just like every relationship he has is just his way, and that's it. And like and I think another thing with his relationship with his brother, he definitely does love him, and it's this kind of strangely sort of toxic love, and it's probably in the eyes of most people not very good, but also no one else is loving his brother, and they probably will never. Like, and so is it better or worse to have a kind of shitty love or no love at all?
You tell me, because I'm trying to figure it out, seriously.
That's life.
Well, yeah, because there were moments when I was like, his brother, Connie, is both the best and the worst thing that could happen to him. Like, I'm like, I don't want you to rescue this guy. He's probably better off without you.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the part of the backstory, I don't know if this really changed anything, but like, I mean, we had established pretty early on, and I was really adamant that they've been estranged for a long time, and like, he doesn't really know him, like, at all. Because it's also when you want to commit to having somebody who has some kind of like psychological challenge. It's never really defined what exactly is the matter with Nick, but it's kind of, you know, he probably be some kind of on the spectrum or something, and but he definitely needs help with his life, and Connie, I think, likes to think of himself as a rescuer, but he really has not thought about this at all. I mean, he's just like Nick in a lot of ways is a pawn in kind of this game of how Connie sees himself. I think anyway. I don't want to make him sound too awful.
No, I mean, no, the movie establishes enough of that. No, I did actually kind of wonder how well they knew each other, because there are sort of hints with the grandma and the newscast.
And everybody hates Connie. Literally, Connie's been kicked out of the family a long time ago. And it's kind of, and one of the main things we did is, me and Benny, we were writing letters, well, like emails, but they're supposed to be letters from when I've been in prison, and we send this back and forth, and it was kind of trying to convince him to not live with his grandmother anymore, and basically trying to get the grandmother to trying to get him to turn against his grandmother, and sort of trying to manipulate him and saying, you know, finding out what are his dreams and just trying to figure out how to push his buttons and make him come with him. But yeah, and we also shot this massive dream sequence, which is going to be the Iggy Pop song at the end. It's amazing.
Oh, you're kidding!
It's going to be his music video. But
That's so cool.
And it was like, you know, the entire point of the movie, which is kind of vaguely, no, it's pretty vague, but it's like they want to rob the bank so they can go and live in the woods in this cabin in Virginia. And then there's a moment we shot this whole dream sequence where it shows this magical cabin in the woods where they can live there and do whatever they want. And it's just like this nightmarish, like it's horrible thing where the Xbox isn't working for Nick, and Nick's like throwing up in the toilet. I'm trying to force feed him White Castle burgers, and it's like, and I describe this like idyllic thing, but yeah, that's the reality.
What's an Xbox doing in the woods anyway? We have a question from B-Dog. There he is. Yes. Wants to know what is motivating you now in the projects you're choosing versus when you first started out?
As opposed to when I first started? Well, when I first started, just money. No, I'm joking. No, it's not really. When I first started, I was just auditioning for everything. Just auditioning for absolutely everything, and the only jobs I did were the jobs I got, like. And then I did Twilight, and just realized I was just so bad at auditioning, and then tried to kind of, I don't know. I mean, I basically just kind of, if I like, well, there's a few different reasons, but if I like a movie that someone's made a lot, then I'll just keep going after that person until I can start a relationship with them, basically. And
wear them down.
Yeah, everything. It's literally just like banging on the door.
You couldn't have been that bad at auditioning because, I mean, there was a lot of competition for the role in Twilight.
I was the last person they saw.
Were you really?
Yeah.
And they had just given up?
Just like, that's it.
I mean, do you think you auditioned poorly for that?
I mean, it's just random. I mean, I know that like I just had such crippling... I don't even know what you just cripplingly self-defeating with auditions, and it would just happen again and again and again and again. I would really want to do something, and then I just get to the audition and just flake, like every single time, and it was just awful. I mean, I just couldn't handle the pressure of any expectation whatsoever, and I'm like, I'm not good enough, like, and so. I mean, since Twilight, I think I've maybe auditioned for like 3 things, and like 4. I only got 1 out of those 4.
Really?
Yeah.
But you got Twilight. I mean, you did something right.
Yeah, I must have done something.
We have a question from Vicky Abelson. This role is a bit of it's a big departure to change it up. This role is a big departure. Oh, I see. Okay, sorry, it's punctuation on my part. No, it's not you. This role is a big departure. To change it up, have you considered comedy? I mean, this is kind of a comedy to me, but you might have written this before you saw the movie, too. Yeah. No, go ahead, please.
I don't count this as comedy. But you sing, so you should do a musical comedy.
That's what I'm saying. Musical, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I don't know why very few comedies are made now as well. It's just strange. And that's really the only thing I want to watch half the time.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, when you want to I either want to do like super highbrow stuff or just something funny. Yeah, there's just hardly ever any comedy. There used to be comedies all the time.
I know,
But yeah, I'd love to.
We have a question from Brandy. Wants to know what's the best advice you've ever received from another actor? That you can tell us.
It's weird. I used to think it was a joke, but I actually think it's a really good piece of advice. It's actually Peter Facinelli, who was in Twilight with me. I think he even said it to me as a joke, but I've never forgotten it. He was like, you know what my secret is? It's like, I always keep my birthday in my back pocket. And it's like, no matter what the scene is, it's always my birthday. And I was literally like, and I was like, that's actually amazing. And like, if you actually really think about it, and you really commit to the idea of that, no matter what, like, you know, someone's died, but it's my birthday.
There's so many ways to interpret that.
Yeah,
I'm going to be
that's
thinking
great.
about it all night.
It's really just a tool for narcissists, though. That's literally, what about me?
Well, I want to remind everyone this movie actually opens in theaters on August 11th in New York and LA. Please spread the word. Also, if you can just stay seated so that he can get out of here. He has another commitment. Thank you guys for being a great audience. Thank you so much for
Thank you
being
guys
here.
so much. Cheers. Thank you.